6 months ago, my bank account looked like a joke. I was making around $30,000 a year, living paycheck to paycheck. Constantly telling myself the same lie. Once I earn more money, then I'll finally save. But the truth hit me hard one random night when I checked my account balance after paying rent, food, and bills. I realized I had been working non-stop for years and still had almost nothing to show for it. No emergency fund, no investments, no freedom, just stress disguised as survival. And that's when I made a decision that honestly sounded impossible at the time. I challenged myself to save $10,000 in 6 months while earning only $30,000 a year. No rich parents, no crypto lottery, no viral business, just a normal income, normal bills, and a method that completely changed the way I think about money. Most people think saving money is all about being cheap. What I changed first was my awareness. Because most people don't actually know where their money goes. They think they do, but they don't. So the first thing I did was brutally track every single dollar for 1 week. And I mean everything. Coffee, snacks, subscriptions, random online purchases, delivery apps, convenience store runs, all of it. At the end of that week, I was shocked. I wasn't broke because I earned too little. I was broke because I leaked money everywhere without noticing. The biggest killer wasn't luxury purchases. It was tiny daily spending that felt harmless in the moment. $10 here, $15 there. $20 for food delivery because I felt tired. Those small decisions were silently stealing hundreds every month. So I built a simple system. Not complicated spreadsheets. Not some finance guru nonsense. Just a system I could actually follow consistently. Every paycheck got divided immediately the second it arrived. Before I touched anything, before I spent anything. I paid my future self first. 40% went directly into savings automatically. I treated savings like a mandatory bill instead of whatever is left over. And that mental shift changed everything. Now obviously, saving 40% on a low income sounds insane. So I had to completely redesign my lifestyle. I stopped trying to look rich and started trying to become financially free. The first major thing I cut was convenience spending. Convenience is expensive. Delivery apps were destroying my money. I also stopped buying things to impress people who honestly didn't care. People buy clothes, gadgets, and useless stuff because they want validation. Not because they actually need it. Once I understood that, spending became easier to control. Then came subscriptions, streaming services, apps, memberships I barely used. I cancelled almost everything. Small subscriptions feel invisible because they're automatic, but together they quietly drain your income every month. Transportation was another big change. Instead of driving everywhere, I started combining trips, walking more, and using cheaper options whenever possible. Again, not forever, just long enough to hit my goal. But here's the part nobody talks about enough. Cutting expenses alone wasn't enough. I realized there's a limit to how much you can save, but there's almost no limit to how much you can earn. So I became obsessed with increasing income outside my main job. After work, instead of spending hours scrolling social media or watching random videos, I started using that time strategically. I sold unused stuff online first. Old electronics, clothes, random items sitting around collecting dust. That gave me a quick boost. Then I started freelancing online. Nothing glamorous, simple work. Most people underestimate how powerful small extra income becomes when combined with disciplined saving. And honestly, the hardest part wasn't budgeting. It was fighting the mental pressure around money. Because when you start saving aggressively, people notice. Everywhere you look, people are buying new cars, expensive vacations, designer clothes, and luxury lifestyles. What nobody shows is the debt behind it. I had to stop comparing my real life to everyone else's highlight reel. Every time I wanted to quit, I reminded myself of one thing: temporary sacrifice creates permanent options. That sentence carried me through the hardest moments. And slowly, something strange started happening. Saving money became addictive. Not because I loved seeing numbers in a bank account, but because for the first time in my life, I felt control. Real control. I stopped panicking every time an unexpected expense appeared. I stopped fearing my future as much. My stress levels dropped. I slept better. Money doesn't automatically buy happiness, but financial insecurity absolutely creates anxiety. Then I optimized my environment. This part is underrated. I unfollowed accounts that constantly triggered unnecessary spending. I stopped browsing online stores for entertainment. I made saving easier and impulse spending harder. I also created visual progress tracking. Every week, I updated my savings number. Watching it grow kept me motivated because progress becomes powerful when you can actually see it. Now let me be clear. My life wasn't perfect during those 6 months. There were moments I felt exhausted. Moments I wanted to spend recklessly just to feel temporary relief. Moments I questioned whether sacrificing so much was worth it. But the deeper I went, the more I realized something important. Most people stay financially stuck because they think discipline means suffering forever. It doesn't. Discipline is temporary, struggle is temporary, but the habits you build can change your entire future. When I finally crossed the $10,000 mark, it didn't even feel real at first. I remember staring at my account thinking, how did someone making $30,000 actually do this? And the answer was surprisingly simple. I stopped living on autopilot. That's it. I became intentional with money instead of emotional with money. Most people don't need a 6-figure salary to improve their finances. They need awareness. They need systems. They need patience. And they need to stop believing that small actions don't matter. Because small actions repeated consistently are what completely transformed my situation. A lot of people watching this might think, that wouldn't work for me. And maybe your situation is different. Maybe your bills are higher. Maybe you support family. Maybe life feels impossible right now. I understand that, but the core principle still applies. You have to take control before your finances take control of you. Even saving $50 a week changes your mindset. It builds momentum. It teaches discipline. And momentum is powerful because success grows faster once you start believing change is actually possible. The craziest part is that this journey taught me lessons way bigger than money. I learned patience in a world addicted to instant gratification. I learned confidence doesn't come from owning expensive things. I learned freedom is more valuable than appearance. And I learned that most financial stress comes from habits people refuse to examine honestly. Today, I still use the same system. Not because I have to survive anymore, but because those 6 months permanently changed the way I think. Now every dollar has a purpose. Every purchase has intention, and for the first time, my money works for me instead of disappearing without explanation. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: your income matters, but your habits matter more than most people realize. You do not need to wait for the perfect job, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect moment to start changing your financial life. You can start with the next paycheck. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. One sacrifice at a time. Because 6 months from now, you can either wonder where all your money went again, or you can look at your savings and realize you completely changed your future.